What is going on, guys? So as you can see, ISC, my coilovers have finally showed up. So we do have the coilovers. This is a video for my Crosstrek guys. I know SC300 hasn't gotten no love as far as parts, but you know, I got other stuff going on right now. This is what's going on. So this is a video for my Crosstrek guys. We're gonna go through what I got for parts. Obviously, these are the coilovers. Right behind me, we have the wheel over here. This is the setup that I went with, and I'll talk about this in a moment and why I went with this and what I went with. So we're gonna get into some parts and talk about what I got here and talk about the quality, talk about what I spent, and basically what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna try to do this stuff, some time-lapse stuff. As you guys can see, I got a Red Bull because I'll probably be here for a while. I got Ronnie Boy over here who's gonna help me out. You guys can't really see him because the angle is low, but we're about to look at some parts. I'll have him bring over some parts to the camera a little bit closer so you guys can see them. We'll start with the boring stuff. So the boring stuff is tow arms. Obviously, these aren't that crazy important, although the stock arms that are in the car are not adjustable. So we have these tow arms, and these are some cheap eBay tow arms. I didn't go with anything crazy because, again, it doesn't need to be fancy. They're just tow arms. As long as they don't break, we should be all right. I will say I'm not that confident in these bushings that they came with. It's not because these are bad bushings, but it's just because I've seen people have issues with the bushings on other aftermarket parts that were cheap, but we're gonna cross our fingers. It's tow arms. I don't think we're gonna have an issue. Anyways, I think I bought these for this. I can't tell you, but these I want to say I bought for like no more than $100. I want to say like 80 or 90 bucks. They're super adjustable, as you can see. This is one big piece that you can twist, and obviously these are the locking nuts right here. Actually, I can roll up to you guys, so check it out. These are locking nuts. They're giant, so that's always a good sign because that means that you're going to be able to move them in the case that they get dry. But we're going to anti-seize the heck out of them, and I'm thinking I'm going to cover this stuff. But the ball joint is super stiff. I don't know. Ron gave me the thumbs up for the ball joint being super stiff, but this thing is not moving, which, I mean, that means it's strong, but I don't know if it's going to be. Yeah. I mean, once it gets some weight to it, it should be all right. But yes, these are actually not that bad. I can't remember, like I said, look on eBay. You can pretty much get these tow arms for anything. The reason I say you can get these tow arms for anything is because they're eBay, and it looks like they make these in a bunch of different sizes. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you could put these in the Lexus. And the reason I say that is because it's just a ball joint and this piece right here. And this is the same way the Lexus one is. So yeah, tow arms are pretty straightforward. 90 bucks, eBay, come with some cotter pins and stuff like that. So we know that they're gonna stay on. That's always good. So that's that. Next, now this is the gamble. So Ron can give me his 2 cents on this. Now, if you guys know, Subarus, pretty much everything is interchangeable, correct? So for the most part, you got to use your brain. Obviously, certain things are going to be changed. Now, I don't know the exact logic on this. I'm just talking off the top of my head and just based off of what would make sense. I'm pretty sure this is the case. On the Crosstreks compared to the Imprezas are the exact same setup, except I'm pretty sure on the subframes, the pickup points for the control arms and things like that might be higher up or lower down, just based on the height of the car, being that this is a car that's supposed to be higher up and it's a Crosstrek. With that being said, theoretically, these should fit. Now, these are max speeding rod control arms. They're supposedly made for this car, the Imprezas, the Rexes. I don't know if it said the STI, but I suppose if it fits into the Rex, it should supposedly, like Ron said, should fit into the STI. But that's what we're testing today, so we're hoping for that. That's gonna be the first thing we tackle, is gonna be these. Now, 90 bucks. Yeah, and they're well built. Like, you know, these are super fat, chunky welds. I will say that if you're going in this for like to be faster, I mean, it's a Crosstrek. I don't know why you're trying to be faster, but if you're trying to be faster, this is a pretty heavy part. It's a steel part. It's not like it's aluminum, which means that it will get crusty if you don't anti-seize it and you don't protect it. It already is, but again, you just want to make sure that you anti-seize everything anyways. Doesn't matter what it is, so that it doesn't lock up. But 90 bucks, it's a pretty good deal, right? Now, Yeah, seriously. So these came with, and it's max speeding rods. So they, they're a brand that's been around. They want to make sure that they put out stuff that isn't complete junk because they're a brand that's been around and they want to keep their customer happy. So that's the good thing about them. I have most of you guys know this. I have max speeding rod coilovers in the Lexus. They've done really well. The backs finally blew out. That's something I'll talk about in another video. But for the amount of abuse that I've given them, that was in the cold and like bottoming them out. They're completely low right now. Technically not in the right springs are on them, but I like their brands, what I'm getting at. This is the ball joint that goes into the subframe. So this right here goes into that. I'm not gonna put this in because we gotta anti-seize it, and I believe it's actually reverse thread. Yeah, it's reverse thread. And then if you look here, it's got these big beefy knobby piece right here. This will also twist off so that you can adjust it while it's on the car. I believe even this will twist off. We're gonna have to put that in the vise and anti-seize that stuff. But this is the locking nut right here, and then that's the adjustable part, and it should spin out of this too as well. And yes, so that's what we got for control arms. Again, 90 bucks, can't really beat that. So these will be going on there. These came with some washers. What these washers are for, I have no clue. I mean, I don't know what do you need washers for control arms. So we'll find that out. Now, we get to the expensive stuff because I didn't go cheap on the coilovers. This time around, I went with an expensive coilover because I know I'm gonna be dealing with this thing. I want this thing to be good and I want it to be daily drivable. Now, I unboxed these already. I did film it, but I should have like talked about it more. I'll show you more because I have more stuff in here. This is the sheet that just tells you about it. Basically, it's got 32-way damping. I can adjust it, and I'll show you the stuff that comes with this. This is from ISC Suspension. Very nice brand from New Hampshire. I don't know where they source their stuff out of. I know it's not America, but it's really, really good brand. Look at this. Yeah, go ahead, Ron. Give them the reaction. What do you think?
Oh, that looks so good.
So, what do we got here? So, first of all, the quality is intense. Like, these spin very freely. This is all anodized aluminum. I'm pretty sure it's like the typical stuff, 6061 aluminum CNC. They have a big plate on top. This is this just mounts to the car, but it being this thick gives you confidence that nothing's gonna break. You can actually get these set up so that they have a ball joint in here. I didn't want that because I didn't want something else to service or something else that could possibly break, but basically what it does is it makes it so it's less clunky and it makes the car drive smoother. Mines are just single piece. It's really not that serious, especially if you want to drive the car hard. I almost feel like it'd be worse, but I do think that they run that on some cars to make them drive better. Although I will say, and I'm just noticing this now, it looks like there's a bearing in here. Check this out, Ron. Come over here and look. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does that look like a giant bearing so this can spin freely? Yeah, so this is a giant bearing in here. I can't really show you guys that stuff because it's just really tight space, but I can show you the thick anodized aluminum top. Now, if you guys watch my max speeding rod coilovers, I mean, coilovers really don't need to be this thick, but they're probably like a 1/4 inch versus this is like probably 1/2 inch, huh? This is like 1/2 inch thick, right? And this is a big piece. Not only that, we have adjustability for camber on the top. So I can actually adjust these in the car however I want to do it. This I'll probably set somewhere and just adjust it from the camber bolt, but I'll put this somewhere where I can get the camber where I want it. Next.
It tells you exactly.
Yeah, the degrees and everything.
That's cool.
Here we got the spring. I'm gonna back up so you guys can see me again. Spring's nothing fancy. This is just whatever their stock spring is. I don't really know what it is, but this is their stock spring. And yeah, I think these come, most of the Crosstrek coilovers that come aftermarket are something like 6.5K. It's, in my opinion, it's not that stiff. What do you think? You don't know really. You don't know spring race though. Yeah, he doesn't know spring race. But my Lexus, to give you a comparison, I have is 14K, but the Lexus is a much heavier car. With that being said, 6.5, we'll have to see. It's also McPherson strut, which changes the leverages and things like that. We also have down here some nuts and bolts that came with it. I'm pretty sure one of these is this is probably for the sway bar, and this is for the ABS, right?
Yeah.
And then you just got your basic holes for your McPherson strut setup. These are supposed to have some adjustability, huh? They're not supposed to be this simple circle. So with that being said, that means that I won't be able to do that through the camber bolt, which means I'll have to adjust it through here, right?
No, if you leave that normal without adjusting it there, you can still adjust it right at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the bolt that actually does the camber.
But what I'm asking you, we'll see when we take them off, but what I'm asking is basically if this hole is usually bigger to allow the adjustment to move. No? Okay. He said no. He knows off the top of his head. That's good. So no, this is good. So that's all good. So I don't even got to worry about that. These are also the N1, I believe, N1 spec. I'm going to have to look that up. If I am wrong, then I will correct myself and put up on the screen here and you'll see what it actually is. But it's not a basic coilover from them. It's basically like the 2 levels up. I think it's the N1 V2. And basically it's just going to drive better, you know, as far as performance. I want to say these are a monotube, which means that it's going to be more performance based versus trying to drive smoother. Although you can get these dampened differently. So you can go with a track package, which is super aggressive, which, like I said, I'm dailying this thing. I don't want it that aggressive. So I went with the sport package, which is a more drivable, still aggressively dampened shock. So that's what we got going on here. This is the front. So you guys got to see the pretty front. I'm gonna put that down and then I will show you the rear ones. And there's also a surprise that they gave me. And I'll talk about that after because I'll talk about my experience with ISC after this. Now, this is the rear. Now this is nothing special, it's just a solid piece down here. So there's gonna be no play. This is like, it feels like it's kind of like a bushing, but it's pretty hard. I don't think it's a bushing, but it's basically a really, really hard polyurethane. It's probably like a 100 duration or something like that. But as you can see, these are tiny, which means that the car is gonna be super, 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 super low. I'm excited for that. And then you just got this. This is typically how big a top mount is. And this is what I was talking about, the thickness. This is all you really need. The other one, I don't know why it's that big. Maybe it's a reason for it. Maybe it makes it more stable. I don't know. I am not one of those professionals. And then again, you hear how smooth it is? And I don't know if these bodies are steel or not, but as smooth as they're doing it, they could be aluminum. I don't think these are made out of aluminum. But basically what I'm telling you is that these are really, really well made. This is so smooth, and the collars. So again, this does come with a packet of anti-seize. It's called anti-grease seize. That's what they basically labeled it as. It sounds like it's a less aggressive anti-seize. I'm gonna go with the nice anti-seize because I'm not having these things lock up on me. And also, this is the surprise that they surprised me with. Neoprene covers for the coilovers. So basically this is the same stuff that divers have that they put on when they're diving. And what you do is you take that, it has Velcro, you wrap it around your coilover, and your coilover is protected from the weather. Now it comes with zip ties too, so that you can really make sure these things don't come off. These were a surprise because I didn't order these. These coilovers took forever to get here. Now, be mindful, it's a Crosstrek. How often are people lowering their Crosstreks? Not really that often. So that was part of the issue. These were basically made to order. When I ordered them, it was May 13th. They sent me an email about 3 days later. I got back to them 3 days later after that. So it was about 6 days, May 19th, basically me confirming to them, hey, I want these to get done. I don't care how long it's gonna take. So that means that they were from May 19th until about, I don't remember the date that I got them, but it is what, July now, but I got them probably like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. No, it was late in the month. So yeah, it was about June 22nd, I think I got them or something like that. They told me 4 to 5 weeks out from that date. So it was about 4 to 5 weeks. Then I emailed them basically saying, hey, just want to follow up and figure out what's going on with these coilovers. About a week later, then they got back to me. So it took about 4 to 6 weeks, I would say. The reason I say 4 to 6 is because they might be more on point next time. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was holiday season and all of that. But yes, it took 4 to 6 weeks from me contacting them after ordering them. It took about 6 to 7 weeks with me contacting them and everything. It took a long time. With that being said, they hooked it up. They sent me some extra stuff. These things are like $80 per pair, so it's an extra $160 worth of stuff right there. They hooked it up. I appreciate you, ISC. And they were, you know, as communicative as they could be. I'm sure they're super busy. They got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. With other stuff, there is some more stuff that comes in here. It's not that exciting, but I'll explain it to you. I'm trying to find it right now. Second set of neoprene stuff. Put these over here so I can see what's going on. This is max speeding rod stuff, just a catalog that we don't really care about. It's not that serious. And then they come in separate boxes too. So this is 2 coilovers, the 2 at the top and the bottom. And then we got a second set in here, and now you guys actually get to see them unboxed. So with that stuff came these, you know, these are, I don't know what they call these, but basically they're just to adjust your shock and get the collars loose. And then if you look in here, got these little Allen keys. These Allen keys right here are so that you can put them on your shock and then you can adjust the damper. So this is how you adjust them. I don't know if these stay on. They obviously you can leave them on, but in my case, I don't know if it's gonna fit in my rear because you know we got a whole bunch of seat covers and stuff like that that's over it. So I don't know if these can stay on while they're back there. And then if you look right here, this is what it's called. It says anti-rust grease. That's what this is called. Basically, it's got copper in it. It's grease, and you put it around the threads. And I'll show you guys that later because I'm going to use actual anti-seize because I don't want my stuff to seize up. But that's also what comes with this. Basically, it comes in that box. Comes wrapped like this. Hey, Ron, you want to do the honors? I already opened one, so
Yeah, I'll open one.
it's fun to open stuff. So you can actually sit right there where I'm sitting at, and then open that up for them. So see what that looks like. It also came with ISC sticker. I'm not that excited about this. It's not that serious. All right, just checking that we're still recording here. And then once again, we have a second one, and Ron will unwrap that for you in just a moment. But I'm gonna move this box, and then I'm gonna show you the wheel. We got all our parts right there, that big old mess.
This is the colorway I want to make the Rex.
The actual car,
Yeah, like
that gold is nice.
gold.
So that's one.
This is nice.
And we'll talk about this in a moment, but I'm gonna get to that. I just want to show you guys how they look coming out the box. Shout out ISC for hooking up with the neoprene stuff and doing a good job with these coilovers. These are super, super high quality, man.
I like the way they look. They feel good.
They even make control arms and stuff like that, and it's all billet stuff. So, you know, I ain't spending that much money on it, but you could get matching like that same gold, the control arms, all the suspension,
Nice.
everything.
I like this a lot. I'm
So-
a little jealous.
Let me take a seat back down because I'm going to talk about this wheel. You just double check and make sure the wheel's in frame.
Yep, you're good.
All right, so right here we got a 17 by 9. Hold on, I don't know what the offset is. Well, you have to take my word for it. I'll put it on screen because I'll look it up. But I believe it is, if it's not right, 17 by 9 plus 38. So these are 17 by 9 plus 38. These are CSF ones. They match my Lexus. So of course I got ones that match my Lexus. I wanted to do gold like the Lexus ones. Unfortunately, they didn't have this size in stock. I went with a 17 because it's similar to the same setup that it has now. The rim is also a lighter rim. It is about 20 pounds with this exact spec. It's about 20 pounds. I want to say it's like 20.25, which the stock ones are 28 pounds, which is crazy for the size that they are. And then I got a fat tire. The fat tire really isn't necessary. You can go with whatever you want. I went with it's technically a smaller tire in terms of diameter, like height. This is a 25-inch altogether, but it's a 255 40 R17. So I wanted a wider tire because I'm getting this car to get the rear end to kick out, and you know, it's fun. But I'm trying to get more grip out of the car. I want the car to be able to take the curves faster. Is it necessary? No. But if I'm driving the car that quick, and it's obviously doing that, I'm talking about me dailying it. Yes, I do drive the car hard on the daily, but I went with 255. This is super overkill. We all know these things probably make like what, 140 horsepower, and then like we know that's not going to the wheels. So this is a super aggressive thing, but I can also lower these pressures if I want to lower them to get more grip out of them, and that's pretty much it. This is just a super easy tire to get. It looks really good. I like the way that it looks on the 17 by 9, that it's nice and flat. It looks a little more sporty in my opinion. I just want this car to look sporty, but it's obviously not going to be that sporty. So without further ado, let's get into this I'm not gonna talk too much about any of the stuff that's going on until I actually get down to the parts, but I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and me and Ron are gonna get to work. Let's go.